How's it going, you guys? Frankie Hill here. All right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to review my part in propaganda. You're going to get a front row seat on trick for trick and exactly what was going on through my head throughout this entire part. So sit back, enjoy my review from the propaganda video.
Hi, my name's Frankie Hill, and I like to throw down the big, fat, ollie 1 foot.
All right, so this was interesting. I was known for making up little sayings, and that was kind of like my MO back then. So the filmer sat me down and he's like, okay, Frankie, come up with a little saying or whatever. And I kind of drew a blank, being put on the spot. So I did come up with this, and unfortunately, this is what has stuck with me for pretty much my entire life. So kind of hoping I would have came up with something different, but it is what it is. Let's roll the tape. This is the double set at UCSB. Now, this is at the library, and it's got rough ground. It was one of the first spots that I hit out in UCSB, and stoked to be able to get a mute down this double set. This is out in UCSB, and it's by the bus depot. It's down about 5 stairs and over a flat bar onto a little walkway down here, and it throws you right into a fence with a bunch of stables in it. So this wasn't one of the first spots that I hit, but it was a little bit further along in the session, and I hadn't really hit this spot before, but I saw it and I thought, wow, man, hey, let's give it a shot for the video. So I just ran up there and within a few tries knocked out a mute. This was at a school by the Mission in Santa Barbara. And this is in the back. Came off this little ollie ramp and 50-50 this flat bar. This is a hydrant, all off a Hollister in Goleta. And I ollied off my nose, frontside 180 over this hydrant. It was later on in the day, and yeah, it probably took me a few tries to nail this guy. This is a lip slide down 5 stairs out at UCSB, and I did it relatively quick. Just trying to get another trick for the video, but stoked on the lip slide fakie. Now this one is interesting. This is one of the proudest tricks that I am, proud of in this video. Off 3 stairs, flat bar, backside 50-50 on this music rail here. So music center rail. So in any case, the team manager, hey, bet me, Frankie, you can't do this or whatever. And I just willed this to happen. I remember barely getting my front truck up here. And if I remember right, literally my back wheel bounced off the rail as it kind of pushed on the nose and barely got the back truck back on here. And as you can see now, it's just barely hooking. And was able to make this. And after I landed, I kind of rolled this way and looked back towards the filmer because the team manager was standing behind the filmer to let him know that, hey man, I made this thing, Now this is an interesting one. This is a different view of the same rail. And I did a tail grab, and I never did this before or after, but I did a tail grab, 1 foot kick out, and really stoked to get that ollie board slide, tail grab, kick out. See, tail grab, and I'm kicking off right here. So you can see, little original trick for the video. This was later on in the day when I was skating with Frank Hirata doing some flat ground at a school. This was off the nose, ollie off the wheelchair ramp, over the rail, out in Elwood at a school. Took probably, I don't know, a couple of tries. Didn't take too long. 5, 6 tries. This was a trick that I was known for, olling and grabbing nose and kicking judo, but the angle on this was a little different. But in any case, I didn't actually grab my nose on this. I just kicked judo because it was kind of a small ollie, so I wanted to do something kind of different. So I just ollied and then kicked my foot judo without actually grabbing the nose. So that's the way this went right here. This was an ollie 180 tail grab nose tap on an air vent at UCSB. It's kind of like my little signature tricks I used to do. And this was an ollie, kind of like a little nose slide fakie on a rail, but I didn't really nose slide. I just got my nose up there, and it was also, I was riding my board backwards on this one too. This was a rail that I was skating with Frank Hirata that day, and it was a fun little rail and board slide tail grab varial. Down 4 stairs, shove it. Mute grab over the can, and I did a Campbell Hall 50-50 down the rail. And this is out kind of an IV at a school, ollie over the bar, mute, but there was a bike that was like just laying down around there, so I grabbed it and I put it behind there. I thought, hey man, add it to this gap, you know, it'd be kind of a cool little addition for the video. Knocked it out in a few tries, didn't take long. This was pretty cool. The filmer had brought in his child with him, and he set him up over here to watch me do this at Brooks Institute in Santa Barbara, Montecito area, and kickflip mute down 9 stairs, and while the filmer's, you know, child got to sit there and watch me do it. So really kind of a special moment, and you know, big shout out to Robert Catilla for doing a great job filming this video. This was what they call a wheelie grind, but this was before I ever saw anybody do this trick. And I basically just wanted to do a grind down this side of the rail because I just did a 50-50 on the other side, but I didn't want to do a big risky nose grind down it. I had a lot more tricks to do because this entire part was filmed in literally 2 days. So I did what I would call a little safety grind, where I just got my front truck up on the rail and my back truck was like under it, and I just kind of grinded down it. And it's today called a wheelie grind. Back then I just called it a safety grind, and I never did this trick before or really after I did that. I just kind of knocked it out and just went on to the next trick. This was at physics, and little lip slide coming out. Really cool spot that I used to skate with my friends, Kid Erickson and those guys. There's a 7 stair over here that I hit, and a really fun place to skate. This is a little board slide spot at Campbell Hall. You know, there's 14 stair handrails right there, and knocked out a little board slide. This is at what I would call the bell tower and the food court area of UCSB. Knocked out a nose bump over the corner, and right up here is actually where the 11 stair is, where I did the ollie in public domain. That's a double kinked rail, and and that was in Goleta, right down the street from my house at a bank. And it was cool because you had to come off fakie or you wouldn't be able to make the trick. So it was pretty cool. Frontside 180, basically nose grab off the nose. And this was kind of a cool little trick on the other side of physics. And I did a lip slide, bump out, whatever you want to call it, try to go to grind, whatever the case is. But it was pretty cool because it was a quick little trick, lip slide over the corner, and then you bump out real fast. And that was going down the bike path at UCSB, doing a little bit of flat ground. And now this is at a school that I was skating with Frank Hirata a little bit later in the day. This is back out in Isla Vista, frontside 180 over the hydrant off my nose. Frontside 180 mute, off my nose, over the can. This was out at Dos Pueblos, and I got an ollie over a parking space from curb to curb. This was off the nose, frontside 180, back out at that school in Elwood, Goleta area. That was just an ollie that I did from the other angle over that small gap. So that's just that. Frontside 180, over an air vent. I believe this is in Goleta, right down the street from my house. Frontside 180 off the nose. This is actually pretty tough because the tranny here is just really mellow, so it doesn't really do much for you. This is over the bridge out in Isla Vista, right across from the double air vents. At the same school doing the flat ground with Frank Hirata. This is tail grab, varial, kick out, down, I think it's like 7 or 8 stairs. That's right by the music hall 3-stair rail, the flat rail over here. And if you go straight that direction, it's down the 11 that I did in public domain. I tried to do this. I wish I could have got this better. Half cab varial mute down the 7 at physics. But it is what it is. Board slide, tail grab varial, music hall. The double set of stairs that I also skated in public domain, where I did the kickflip backside 50-50 down the little side piece. And of course, just a flat out board slide with the same spot I was skating with Frank Hirata, which was a really fun little railing to skate, actually. Same, around the same area. It's like at a college, little tail grab. Now, this is pretty incredible, this spot here. This was at Dos Pueblos, and basically it was nearing the end of the day, and the team manager was saying like, hey, Frankie, the day's winding down. I mean, are you gonna, do you have something you really wanted to do today? Because we're running out of time. And I said, well, I'll take you to my high school and I'll show you this huge gap that I wanted to do before I graduated. And this was in 1990, a little after I graduated, by a couple of months. I'll take you over there and I'll show you it. And they're like, oh, were you going to do it? And I'm like, no, I'm not. I had no intention of doing it, but I'll go show you it. So I go over here and I walk my team manager over here, and he was pretty blown away by seeing this thing. And I said, well, there you go, there's that. And I just walked away. And we kind of sat down. He's like, wait a minute, stop walking away. And he kind of sat me down in the hallway at the school, and he basically said, that, if I do this, my life will never be the same. And I thought about it, and I decided to give it a go. So I walked up there, and I was super scared because this bubbles out. And when I was standing at the edge, you can't see the end of the gap because the ground bubbles out. And so I was really scared, and I just thought to myself, I have no idea what's going to happen when I go off this. But I'm going to find out. And the nervousness just kind of fell away. And what happened is I went flying at this thing first try. Made it super clean, super easy. And ended up just jumping off my board and screaming, I'm gonna make it, I can't believe it. But then I kind of came back to my senses, and I was like, man, all I had to do was roll away. I had this thing on first try. I should have just rolled away. So I had to go back up there, and this was the second try that I did. And I thought, hey, let's let go of it a little bit early, so that way it looks like I'm kind of floating down at the end, which is kind of crazy. And my feet actually start coming off the board right as I'm landing. And that's why I kind of scrolled out at the end. And then everyone said, hey, we're done. We got it, let's go. And I said, you guys can go, but I'm gonna stay. I need to make this thing clean because I'm not coming back here to do this thing. So third try, they filmed it a little bit differently from a different angle. And I ended up making it really clean and just rolling away squatted with my hands up above my head. And definitely a day that I'll always remember. A really big challenge that I overcame. And watching people's reactions to this over the years, the team manager was right. My life was never the same after I did this. So that's it, you guys. That's my review of Propaganda. And I hope you guys liked the journey with me. And I'll probably be doing a couple more reviews over my other videos, but nice to sit down and give you guys a step-by-step of exactly what it took to put this video together in literally 2 days. Right on. Take care, you guys.